Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. I'm Natalie Joe. Today I thought I'd go over I found some things. One is I found a list of how to get organized. Figured simple living, sometimes organization is key. So you know where everything's at. You don't buy duplicates of stuff, and I found a really good deal at my local Kroger store this weekend, and I thought I'd share it with you. I guess I'll start with the good deal I found. They had a ton of them, but I got 7, but they had plenty more. So I found these sandwich bags, double zipper bags. Easy open grip, it says. You see that reduced clearance sticker? 61 cents. 40 count. I guess it may not have been a good deal as I thought, because looks like it says the original price was $1.09. But I figured for 61 cents for 40 storage bags, I think I've seen them more expensive other places. These 40 count bags, sandwich bags. But yeah, so I just have to figure out where to put them now. But like I said, I got 7 of them. There was a bunch more, but I figured it doesn't hurt to have around, and I feel like I use them for snacks at work when I'm working. If I open a big bag of something, I put them in, and they're like loose and not individually wrapped. I try to put them in here just to protect them a little bit. And we do use them in the kitchen too, so they'll go to use eventually. Now on to the list. And I do have, I guess, maybe some things I would like to add to the list, maybe, or some other things that may pertain to getting organized. There was originally 30 things on this list, I think, or roughly 30 things, but I took out the ones I didn't think were important, or not really important, but something I may not do or think may at least benefit me. Now, it did say there was 2 different line items for this first one. It said, develop a morning routine, and then another one said, develop, like, a nighttime routine. Which, I mean, isn't a bad thing. You know, if you have some sort of routine, you know, if you had, like, a glass in the living room when you were watching TV, take that to the kitchen before you go to bed, and just put it in the sink or something like that. Or pick up some trash on your way to bed. Something like that. Now, in the morning, like a morning routine, it could be like including making your bed, you know, make sure that your laundry's in your laundry basket. I don't know, dirty laundry's in an appropriate place. You don't have things, your nighttime, your things that you use at night. I don't know, some people have like a sleep apnea machine that they may use that they would want to put away when they're done using it at night or something like that. Stuff like that. And this next one, I might change a little bit, but I'll let you know what I think. Dedicate 10 to 20 minutes daily to tidying up. Now that I feel like is a great thing. A great thing, I don't know, that's not the word I want to use, but like a great tip, I guess, if you're trying to get organized or declutter or organize stuff. I would say maybe you don't have to do 10 minutes a day. I mean, if you're starting out, yes, you may want to, but once you get into like a routine of tidying up and your house is already like pretty maintained and organized, you could probably get away with like five-ish minutes, a couple minutes here, a couple minutes there, you know, stuff like that. The next one is set up 3 top priorities. I don't know exactly what they mean by that, but it could be like work related, I guess, or something to that effect. And the next one is plan outfits or workouts for the week. And then one was meal prep for the week. It sounds like a lot of planning if you're trying to be organized and create a calming space. You want to prepare for the week, prepare for, you know, whatever, which I guess is a good thing. And this next one kind of ties into one of the previous ones that we already talked about. Organize and clean up when you can. So I'm guessing this is like the 5-minute thing I talked about before. Oh, if you get up to go to the bathroom, and you see a piece of trash or whatever, go throw it away. Or put a glass go to the kitchen, put a glass in the sink or something like that. That could help, greatly. So you don't have to worry about doing it all at once. This next one, it says review subscriptions quarterly. It depends on how many you have, I guess. I mean, I do think it's a great thing to review those to see if they still fit your life, or you still, or if you still use or watch them. I feel like I need to reevaluate my subscriptions. I have Peacock, NBC, Peacock, streaming service. I do have Discovery Plus, which I find myself not using Discovery Plus all that often anymore. So I'm trying to decide if that's currently worth me still paying for. But I do use Peacock, the Peacock one. There's some shows that I like that I watch. But yeah, so just, things to think about, like I said, keep your life simple, organized, clutter-free, a calming space for your house, yourself. The next one was, I don't think it phrased it like this, but I put deal with mail when you get it. I think it said like create a mail system or something. But basically, when you get your mail, basically, this is what I would do, throw away any junk mail, stuff like that. Sometimes it's all junk mail, but just throw it away once you get it, once you realize it's junk or you don't need it. If it's a bill, put it somewhere where you're going to look at it, know where it is when you need to pay it. But I feel like even the bill one nowadays, a lot of people pay their bills online, so, the bill is just, I guess, a reminder. But if you do still send in your bills through the mail, that's perfectly fine. Just, make sure you know where it is and know when it's due so you can get that taken care of. Set a place for everything. Also great advice, make sure everything has a place. So when you're done with it, you can put it back where in its spot or place or whatever you want to call it. Sort photos into folders. Now I was like, why would I use a folder for photos? But then I was like, oh, maybe they're talking about digital photos. So if you have digital photos that you want to sort somehow, folders may be a great thing. But I do have, let me see if I can get this real quick. And I think I've talked about this before. But I have one of these boxes. I don't really know what it was intended for, but I keep all my photos in here. All my physical photos. Little me. But yeah, so I keep all of them in here. So when I just have to, if there's a physical photo I want to keep, I just put it in there and I know where it is. Now I kind of lump this next group together. Track income and spending. It said automate systems or automate savings, and then create some sort of like bill payment calendar or system. Now, like I said, a lot of them are due online. You can easily set up like a way to like make automated payments on your bills, which is great. You can think of that and make your life easier. Also with savings, oh, I want to save on the 1st of every month or whenever. The only reason why I picked the 1st is because not all months have the same amount of days. Some have 30, some have 31, and there's one with 28. But like I said, if you want to do that, that's great. Okay. And then this one I do really like. It says declutter your closet seasonally. Great idea or suggestion, I don't know what you want to call it, because if you're like me, I live in Ohio, and I do have winter, I do have fall, I do have spring. Now, fall and spring are pretty much the same, but opposites. And what I mean by that is, spring, it's colder at the beginning, and then it gets warmer. So you could technically use, and then with the fall, it's warmer at the beginning of fall, and then gradually gets colder. So technically, you could use the same items for fall and spring that you do use. But, I mean, you don't have to do it seasonally if you don't want, but, I just thought, seasonally, quarterly, maybe something that would be good, because if you're just getting done with, let's say, winter, you can be like, okay, I didn't use that, this didn't fit, this didn't, I don't really like this anymore, and you can get rid of it. Deal with it as the season ends, so you know what you may need for next season, the next winter, or whatever. The next two, I think I kind of combined into one, or kind of into one. Choose a specific day to do your laundry, and then put it away as soon as you're done drying, or as soon as it's completed. Now, I have the same days off every week, which is, for me, nice. I like that. I have Fridays and Saturdays off. I think I've said that before. I always do my laundry on Saturdays. So it's one of those, that's just laundry day. And then I always put it away as soon as I'm done, it's done in the dryer. Basically, what they're trying to do is, don't just leave your clothes in a pile somewhere, like on your bed or in a laundry basket. Then you just have to sort through it, and then it might end up on the floor, and you might be washing it twice, you clean stuff again. Or if you have cats, I hope your cats don't do this, or pets don't do this, but they could potentially pee in your laundry basket, and that's just not good. But yeah, so just be aware, just be kind of efficient, deal with things as they come through. And then this kind of maybe ties into all of the last 2 or 3 that I did. Donate things you don't need anymore. Obviously clothes if it doesn't fit. Make a pile. You can do it a couple different ways if you want. One is have a box for donate. Just like a permanent, it doesn't have to be a box. It could be a bag. It could be almost anything. But have some sort of box or bag that you put donations in, so you can take it and donate it. Trash, obviously just put in the trash can. If it's too worn out to donate or something like that. And then the last one was organize your kitchen. Now this could be almost anything. You could do it in stages. One day you could go through your Tupperware, which I feel like, not your Tupperware, I feel like that's just a common term that everyone uses. But your food storage containers that you put leftovers in, because I always feel like my lids and my containers are always mismatched, and I keep losing stuff, which is, I feel like everyone does that. But yeah, you could go through your spices one day, get rid of anything you didn't like, or you don't use anymore, or it's expired or whatever. Go through your pantry, go through your fridge, stuff like that. So some other maybe tips on, or items that I like that may help me, or at least me, keep organized. I do have a few of containers like this to get organized. They do have these nice little latch lids. I do like clear. I did want to mention that I do kind of like clear. I do have some smaller bags that I put scarves in that are clear, only for the fact that visually I can just see, oh, this is XYZ. This is scarves, winter gloves, stuff like that, hats. But yeah, I would suggest clear. Yeah, clear's maybe not the funnest color, or, well, it's probably not really color, but the funnest thing you can think of for a storage container, but I feel like it's very useful to have clear ones. Or another thing that you could do is for your holiday stuff. Use like pink for Valentine's Day or green for St. Patrick's Day if you have like some sort of container or tote for that. I do have orange. Well, here's my issue. My favorite color is orange. So I have orange, a bunch of orange stuff. Orange containers of different sizes. Just orange, like, baskets, stuff like that. But, for Halloween, use like an orange or a purple and black or something like that. Whatever you think. And I feel like and then use like red and green for Christmas. And I feel like the stores are picking up on that, because if you ever noticed, in recent years, maybe like 5 or 6 years now, they have like the big giant Rubbermaid tubs in, let's say, green or red and green. They probably have both for Christmas. And then like orange and then black, purple and black, those colors for Halloween. They have those tubs. I'm sure they're not all Rubbermaid, but I think they have like some like Sterilite too. But they have those big giant tubs in those colors during that holiday season to make it easier for you, because I feel like they know that people do that. So that's always a good thing, and they get that, when you also, when you if you see that in the store and you're trying to get organized during that holiday season. So you can kind of organize your stuff like that, your decorations, things. But yeah, so that's something else. I'm trying to think of some other organizing organizing tips that I like to use. Now if you see behind me here, we do have a bunch of these shelves in the basement. I do also have one over here for my work stuff. But yeah, so just, sometimes the shelf is, I don't know where, how your house, or if you live in a house or an apartment, or how your house is set up or whatever. But sometimes those shelves come in handy. Just, make sure that, depending on the space you have for whatever, that it just makes sense. Like a shelf versus a tub or something. Well, you could put the tubs on shelves, but whatever. But yeah, so another thing would be, again, not sure where you live or what kind of living situation you have. You could always store things in your garage. Now, you don't want to go overboard, because I don't know if you like to use your garage or not, but stuff like that, put things where it makes sense to you. Now, obviously, I have a basement, and we do have a bunch of storage down here, and I think I've said this, or spoke about this before, but when we bought the house, the previous owners left some shelving units, not the ones around here, or behind me, or there, because I bought this for specifically when I went home, work from home. But a big giant shelf, a couple of them, they left them in the basement. They're probably at least about as tall as me, and probably at least, 5.5 feet tall, wide, almost 6 feet wide as well. They left them in the basement, and I was thinking about it also before. It's like, I don't even know how they would get them out of the basement after they were like already put together. So I understand probably why they left them. But I do use those shelves. I put laundry, tissue, like facial tissues, toilet paper on one of them, and I put cleaning supplies on another. Laundry stuff on them. So I do use them, so they come in handy, stuff like that. But I guess the main thing of the list to get organized, how to get organized, and me with some things is, have a place for things. If it makes sense to put it in like a container or a basket or something, do that. If it doesn't fit into your life anymore, get rid of it. That's really all I have for today, guys. You have any more organizing tips, tricks, stuff like that, put them in the comments. I'd love to hear them, and we can discuss them in the comments. I hope you keep having keep living the simple life, guys, and have a great week.